Food bloggers, hi, how are you today? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Eat Blog Talk podcast. This is the place for food bloggers to get information and inspiration to accelerate your blog's growth and ultimately help you to achieve your freedom, whether that's financial, personal, or professional. I'm Megan Porta. I have been a food blogger for 13 years, so I understand how isolating food blogging can be. I'm on a mission to motivate, inspire, and most importantly, let each and every food blogger, including you, know that you are heard and supported. If you are in the boat of just feeling like you're in a transitional time right now, maybe it's a little bit of a tough time for you in your business, and you need a little bit of encouragement, I think this episode is going to motivate you and really help you get through what you're going through. James Elliot from Unleash Your Power joins me in this amazing interview talking about those times when we just go through tough transitions and how to continue growing through them. He has so many words of encouragement, talking about things like life is trying to show us something when we are struggling in any capacity. So just taking the time to stop and figure out what it is that we need to know so that we can pivot or transition and keep moving forward. He has tips that he shares throughout the episode too, like getting quiet with yourself once in a while, just to let that inner voice talk to you and tell you what you need to do. By the end of the interview, I felt so inspired and just ready to tackle everything in life, in my business. So I hope you feel the same. This is episode number 576, sponsored by RankIQ. Hello, food bloggers. Are you looking to spice up your social media account with unique and exciting content? If you want that secret edge that makes you stand out in your niche, I might have the answer for you. Katarina can help you streamline your podcasting and social media content with audio editing, video editing, or social media strategies. She specializes in working with food bloggers, tailoring her content creation packages to their needs. Whether you want to create something new, like a gripping podcast, or if you want to refresh your social media strategies by creating scroll-stopping video content for platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, she has got you covered. If this sounds intriguing, get in touch with Katarina. Go to eatblogtalk.com/resources to get more information about Katarina's services. Again, go to eatblogtalk.com/resources and click on her link. Now let's get back to the episode. James Elliot is a passionate and enthusiastic presenter who genuinely cares about people and loves to speak, teach, and deliver value. He has spoken at live events as well as virtual ones for people all over the world. He even has his own private training institution where he trains people who want to make an impact on their organization and do it in a fulfilling way. Hello, James. First interview of the day. It's a great day for me. How's it going for you?
Hey, doing well. I love giving value and serving first thing in the morning. So this is going to be a great day.
Yes, I'm so excited to chat with you because I'm going to be honest, I know nothing about you and about your business. So I'm just eager to learn and I love the notes that I have in front of me. So tell us a little bit about you. First of all, I almost missed this. Do you have a fun fact to share with us before we get into that?
Well, yeah, I guess I love diving, whether it's cliff diving, scuba diving, or skydiving. So I guess that's one thing. Skiing and diving, I guess I'll say is a fun fact about me. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I guess one of the biggest ones as well is I love working remotely all over the world while traveling. A bit of a digital nomad, but I have a home base too. So a few fun facts as well. Yeah,
I love it. So I'm a skydiver as well. Where did you learn to skydive?
In Montreal, Ontario. We were touring around, hanging out there, my buddy and I, and we were getting a little bored. So we thought, let's go skydiving. And nice. We saw that and we were there and it was amazing. I was enjoying the view and the ride up in the plane. And then all of a sudden, the door opens and the first guy jumps, the second lady jumps, the third guy jumps, the second. And then, the person before me is about to go. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like this moment of massive emotion comes up just because, I'm about to go. But yeah, it was in Montreal. We dove over and we actually got our chute tangled a little bit too, which is not good. But luckily I had an experienced instructor and he was able to sort that out, luckily.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, fun to learn all of that about you. I'm not interested in the other type of diving, like going underwater for some reason, just absolutely amazing. Freaks me out. But falling from an airplane, love it. I'm there all day. All right. So tell us a little bit about you, James, and your business. I would love to hear.
For sure, for sure. Well, I help entrepreneurs become limitless. So entrepreneurs that are in and around the six-figure range, really helping them get past the I call it the upper limit, the income upper limit. And also while we're doing that, having more fun, more freedom, more time, more energy, and avoiding things like self-doubt, lack of confidence, burnout, overwhelm, really so they can confidently and charismatically and influentially have more people say yes to them, grow their business, but while working less, while finding time to do more living is the gist of it. So more money, more living, more life, because I've met and coached a lot of people who are making tons of money, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-figure people, even a billionaire. And there was still challenges, right? And I think we need to work on those challenges. We really want to grow and be happy with all that money we make.
I love it. I love your passion and I love your vision for that. That's so cool because there are a lot of entrepreneurs nowadays, right? And it's not all about the money. It's about living life as well. That's ultimately what's so important here.
Agreed.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing or focusing on this as a business, I guess?
Yeah. Well, I've been working with people, helping people succeed on my own business for about 11 years and overall about 24 years because it was my mission to help our clients and also our business partners, our resellers at IBM, at Novell, at Lenovo, the computer company, helping our business partners win, helping these small businesses win. And that way, when they won, obviously I won because they bought more of our products and my commission increased. But again, I've done this for over 24 years, really helping small businesses win and succeed. And I'm really, really passionate about helping entrepreneurs win. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So I kind of told you before we started recording that food bloggers are in this time right now of it's just kind of a big transition and it's a little bit scary. A lot of people are quitting because it just has gotten so scary. Things are up in the air. We've got Google kind of switching things around, which is messing with our traffic, which is messing with our revenue. And I'm sure this is like kind of across the board for entrepreneurs, but food bloggers have been hit especially hard. So it's definitely a transitional time. So I think this chat will be really relevant for us.
I love it. I think so.
Yeah. So I guess like how do we grow during this time? It's so easy just to want to put blinders on and run and scream and never come back. So how do we continue to grow?
So great question. And I truly believe that all the stuff that happens for us literally happens for us. It's not happening to us. Yes, things can really suck sometimes. Been there, done that with anything from depression to anxiety to obesity to intense acne when I was younger to intense bullying when I was younger too. So been there, done that. Starting 7 successful businesses as well. And, going back to the start, scratch each time, investing all your money in your business, feeling like a broke student each time. It's really interesting when you start something from scratch and put all your resources into it. So I hear what you're saying. And I really feel that it's a way to pivot. It's a way to adjust. It's a way to shift and change and for things to show us what needs to be done, right? It's a way for life to show us that we need to pivot, we need to shift, we need to change. The same has happened with me umpteen times. And it was even usually during times something was off, or I wasn't super in love with my business or who I was attracting or what I was doing or how I was doing it. I wasn't super in love with it at that time. So these things, this stuff, this crap, if you will, happens for us, not to us, happens for us to get our butts out of our heads out of our butts, really, get our heads out of our asses and realize, wait, okay, this is not working. Is this even lighting me up? Is there a different way? Is there a better way? Is there a more empowering way that I can make a difference? How can I zig versus zag? How can I love this more? And all this I'll call it crickets or quiet time or pivoting transition. And yes, Google screwing with all our revenue now as well and our rankings and SEO. It gives you the kick in the butt to realize, okay, something's not working. Let me change it. Let me grow. Let me evolve, since change is the only constant and we're always growing or we're dying. So it gives us the kick in the butt and the realization, hey, maybe things should change. Maybe this isn't working anymore. Maybe this isn't lighting me up anymore. And, now that you have the time to do it because you're less busy. And that's what happened with me too when things slowed down and they ebbed and flowed in business. It's, well, I have time now to sit, to reflect, to think, to plan versus just being in serving mode. I can actually think about what I want, what I don't want, who I don't want, and how to get through these stages versus give up. I think where there is a will, there's a way. You can always get through. And by doing that and facing that really, really, really uncomfortable stuff and just working through it, and I'll give some more tips on this later, how to do that, but working through that really uncomfortable stuff, those really uncomfortable situations and feelings, it's like building a muscle. It builds that resilience for us. It's like going to the gym and building a muscle. Life doesn't get any easier. We just get stronger and more resilient so we can take on more and bigger and better and more exciting stuff. So a bit of a long-winded but passionate response to your question.
That's great. I think it's hard when you're in the midst of something like this to really understand that it can be a bigger, better thing waiting for you, right? Like we can get stuck in that fear, almost paralyzed in like, what is going on right now? This is way too much. I don't like change. I don't like what's happening. So how do we get past that to get to that place where it's like, yeah, it is bigger and better?
Well, that's it, right? And that's the $1 million question, and that's one of my biggest passions to help people with is to look at, okay, life is showing you something. Clearly, something is not working, something's not jiving. Life is trying to show you, or even have you realize that something's not working. Maybe you're not in love with this anymore. Maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's a way to stop burning yourself out, exhausting yourself. That's often what happens. Right? Life will take something away from people, money, revenue, clients, to show them that you're killing yourself, you're burning yourself out. And you're not, living a life you want to live, maybe giving back. I love giving back. I love having time and helping people plan it. I love making the world a better place. So, making sure we have time for that, because that's the most fulfilling thing in the world. I think we're all here to help people versus just make money, money, money. And yes, I love toys. I love living in abundance. I love travel. I love working remotely. Love sports cars, right? And I love all that stuff. Although it's getting ourselves right, getting our minds right first, growing and evolving, and just experiencing so we can have these tools, have these more resources and work through this. Now, one of the biggest ways, the question is how the hell do I do this, James? Especially when it's scary. It's mega scary. A lot of things is to embrace those feelings, embrace the fears and just sit with them and be with them, because there's something to learn from them. It's challenging. It's hard. Most people ignore it or distract themselves from that with whether it's alcohol or cell phones or social media or booze or sex or drugs or rock and roll, whatever it is, even work, even excess work can mean addiction.
Been there. Yes.
Yeah, right on. Exactly. And because it keeps us away from feeling the feelings or being and sitting with that. But that's where the answer lies. The answer lies with sitting with those negative emotions, those feelings, and okay, what is it teaching me? What is it telling me? What is it showing me? What do we need to learn? What do we need to change? And so sitting with those feelings, being with those feelings, I have some really, really powerful mega techniques also to help reduce those feelings of whether it's anger or sadness, depression, anxiety, fear, worry, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, some mega tools for that. And the other, so that leads me to the other thing is just to find a coach that'll help you with that. Because to your point, it can be very hard to do this all on our own, including the accountability, because sometimes we all need, positive reinforcement. So, even finding a coach or a mentor can be just absolute. I've always had two of them in my life, different coaches, mentors. So finding someone that can help you see things and even call you out on things when you're not being who you want to be, or when you're ignoring it, self-sabotaging or numbing the pain, filling the void. Because a lot of times the only way through is through. It can suck, but sometimes the only way is through. And the other thing I'll say is this is a magical process. Put your phone alarm on for 30 or 60 minutes. Put your phone on airplane mode. Put it other side of the room or put it in another room and just sit and be. No pets, no kids, no dog, no phone, no book, no nothing. You can have a notepad, a blank notepad and pen if you want. And just sit for 20 or 30 or 40 or 60 minutes. Just sit. And it's challenging at first. Although what you find will come up after, if you just sit and be, eventually your subconscious mind, your heart will start talking to you. And you'll get those awarenesses, those nudges. You may have to do this several times, but you'll find it's a very powerful exercise just to sit and be present, and you'll get a lot of the answers. You'll get a lot of the how, you get a lot of the resolution and the next steps, or you'll hear what you want to do. You hear what you don't want to do anymore. For me, it was like I used to have this voice, and when I would sit and be and said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm like, what is this? Is it coaching? Is it living? Like, what is it? Being alive? Is it working? Is it being an entrepreneur? Like, what is this that I don't want to do anymore? And by doing this, by sitting and just being with myself, no distractions, it can be challenging the first little bit. But again, that's why phone off, on an alarm for 20, 30, 60 minutes. That way you know when you're done. No dogs or pets or kids or books or nothing other than maybe a notebook to write notes in. And so much stuff will come up. I do this at least once a day. So much stuff will come up when you just sit, and you can just sit and be. You can actively reflect on things as well, what worked, what didn't. Or you can just sit and be and just watch the thoughts, observe the thoughts. They come into good and bad. They come into your mind and realize that they're all just thoughts. Unwrap the ones that have barbed wire on them, unwrap them and just get the learnings from them. And then the positive thoughts, the motivating thoughts, hey, I'd really like to do this, or I'd really like to help people with this, or I should maybe do blogging on this, or I should add this weird angle where I don't know, wear a hat when I'm doing my blogging or where I'm doing my videos, or whatever, or the TikTok guy that has the sunglasses up high, and then when he's done, he flicks his head and his glasses fall down.
I know what you're talking about.
Have a thing, have a shtick, have a thing, have something that makes you unique, different, interesting. Have a thing, I think is another piece of advice. And I'm thinking, what could that thing be? How do I be different? Because as you remember the guy, right? You remember that guy, and everyone is going to remember you if you have that shtick, that thing. Right. When I often start my blogs, my podcasts, I hold my hands up in the air. I do, hey, and it's James Elliot. And that's one of my little, hey, it's me. Hey, welcome. And I could probably do a funny hat thing, or I don't know, rip my shirt off at the end, or I don't know, something like He-Man. I don't know. I'm being silly, but it's just, yeah, it can be very, very fearful. And those are some other ways, aside from working with someone, to do that, is to face those fears, really look at things and to reflect, because action plus reflection equals progress. If there's no action, or because of fear or doubt, or I don't know if this will work, or overanalyzing it like often we do, or if there's no reflection after action, then there's no progress, right? It's like, I did that and I'm just going to do it again next time, or I may not, whether it was good or bad or otherwise. Action plus reflection is progress.
Ooh, I like that one. Do you feel like everything is already inside us? When you were talking about just getting quiet, I've been doing that a lot this summer, because I'm in this, I don't know, I'm just in this period of kind of rebirth and renewal. There are so many things that just came together at once that made me slow down and do what you were talking about, just like sitting, going outside, no phone, no distraction. I've been doing that a ton. And I just had this thought the other day that all of the answers, whether it's for work or otherwise, are already in me. I just need to give them time and space to come out.
Right on. I love that. And I completely agree. Everything we need is inside us. That's why a great mentor or coach, an amateur is going to give you all kinds of advice, tell you what to do. Yes, a coach can certainly, hey, here's some advice for this, or here's a way you could do this. But to your point, a great coach and mentor asks lots and lots and lots and lots of questions, to your point, to draw out the answers and the wisdom that's already inside you. And here's the big reveal. When we draw it out, and you'll actually do it. If it's your idea, your thoughts, you're going to actually do it, versus just someone giving you random advice. And you should do this. You should, all this stuff. It's like, who is the woman you've always wanted to be? Who is the man you've always wanted to be? What does he do? What does she not do? How are you serving your clients? What are your boundaries with clients? Is it any one-on-one? Is it no one-on-one? Is it only one-on-one for people who pay top dollar? Otherwise, they can see the blogs, they can join, I don't know, if you have an online class, online course, online webinar. What is that? And looking at who we really want to be. But to your point, yes, I think the answers are inside of us. Absolutely. I believe we're like a puzzle. It's just the puzzle has been dropped on the floor. Maybe you forget where you put a few pieces. So maybe someone has snuck some incorrect pieces in your puzzle, aka limiting beliefs, or self-limiting beliefs. someone snuck some wrong puzzle pieces and you're trying to fit, where do these go? What these don't even belong here. Let's get rid of them. I think we have all the puzzle pieces we need. They're just all over the floor. We need help reorganizing them as a way of answering your question.
Oh my gosh, I love that visual.
Thank you.
That's so cool. Like, yeah, if you find a piece that doesn't look like it fits, you don't throw it away. Just figure out where it goes, right?
Exactly.
That's so awesome. Food bloggers, have you experienced traffic loss after the recent Google updates? Are you feeling confused about how to move forward? I get it. I have been a food blogger for nearly 14 years, and I've been through the ringer with industry changes and business changes. You name it, I have been there. When I look back over my tough times, the thing that pulled me out of slumps and traffic loss and disappointment was always people. We need each other right now more than ever. You are in this food blogging game for the long haul. I know you are. And that means you need to find people to collaborate with, to connect with, and to learn from. Eat Blog Talk has 2 great options for you coming up: the 2025 Eat Blog Talk Mastermind groups and in-person retreats. We are now taking applications for the 2025 Mastermind groups. This year, we're splitting the groups in 2. It'll be intermediate and advanced and beginner. We also lower the price to accommodate traffic and revenue dips a lot of us are experiencing. Apply now, as the first 4 people let into the group will receive 20% off the whole year. Go to eatblogtalk.com/mastermind to apply today. And there are still a few spots remaining for the 2024 Fall Retreat, which is also discounted this year due to revenue loss for so many. Join us in October in Minnesota. It is my favorite time of year here in Minnesota for 3 incredible days filled with laughter, great food, tons of learning and connecting, and honestly, they're just so much fun. You will not regret attending this retreat. Head over to eatblogtalk.com/retreat to apply for that today. I hope to see you in one or both of those spots. I can't wait for the next 12 months and to see all of your businesses explode. And trust me, having those people in your corner is going to help. I so agree with you with the great coaches thing. My life changed when I invested in a really quality coach who brings that stuff out in me that I never would do myself. I feel like it would have taken me a decade to unveil things that he was able to bring out of me. It was amazing. Within, I would say, 3 months, I was a completely different business owner, a different human. It is so transformative to do that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Where do you suggest people find great coaches? Because I kind of happened upon mine, and people ask me this all the time, and I never know what to tell them.
It's a great question. You can ask for referrals. Yes, you can Google as well and look for Google reviews. I'm very fortunate to have lots of great Google reviews. So see what people are saying about the mentor. They have I have video testimonials all over my pages. Do they have some video testimonials? Are there people saying that, yes, they are great? Because there's great coaches out there, and then there's not great there's not great coaches out there, right? And there's people that are looking just to take people's money. There's people really that go above and beyond, as I feel we need to do. Charge what you're worth. Avoid being the Walmart game, the cheapest game in town. Charge what you're worth. Be a great coach, be a great food blogger, be a great whoever, whatever, and charge. I don't want to say charge large. Charge what you want. Charge what you're worth, and maybe even charge a little more because you're probably worth more than that. But give them like 10 times the value. Find some ways to give them 10 times the value and go above and beyond. Is also it. It's not just about money. It's about getting them massive results, getting them to the result, and saying, well, this is the amount of money. This is the amount of investment that I believe will allow me to help you get to that result, versus cheap or someone looking for a cheap mentor, or it's an investment in ourselves. So anyways, to come back to your central point really is to ask for referrals. You can search the internet as well. Part of what I do is I train and certify coaches. So when in doubt, if you want to be connected to a coach, I know many, and I've trained many as well. And I have many colleagues. So when in doubt, reach out to me. If you want, James at limitless-entrepreneur.com. You can ask me. Happy to recommend and happy to see if any of my programs or any of my coaches are right for you too. But
Awesome.
Really just someone that I think the biggest thing is someone that resonates with you. That's how to choose one. Now you had asked how to find one. How to choose one. Do they resonate with you? Can you connect with them? Do they seem honest? Do they seem great? They don't need to have all the credentials in the world. Do you resonate with them? Do you enjoy talking to them? Do they motivate you? Do they light you up? Do they support you? Are you going to want to work with them versus just a referral or just, hey, Bob is great or Jane is great. And well, I don't really like working with Bob. I don't really resonate with Bob as well. So,
Yeah. And another thing I looked at when I chose my coach was, does he have the life that I would want to live? Like if he's living a life that does not align with anything I want to live, then that's probably a good sign that he might not be a good fit, but he did. He has this easy life of freedom. Like all of the things in his life were elements that I was like, yeah, I want that too. So I think that's a big piece of it as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
I was going to ask you too, okay, I loved what you were saying about kind of having a thing, how the guy with the sunglasses does his little shake. I feel like for a lot of people that authenticity is really scary. Like, oh, if I have a thing, people are going to judge me or I'm going to be like arrogant and, like that sort of thing. How do we get past that?
That is such a great question. One of my favorite questions to answer, honestly, is such a great question because I came from a place where I was totally inauthentic because, again, of all the bullying, the self-doubt, the being in my head. As Tony Robbins says, if you're in your head, you're dead, right? And so many of us are so heady, so thinky, over-analytical, overthinking about everything. We think about it 1,000 times and until we do it, if we ever do it, versus going and testing it, doing it. Okay, now how did that work? Most people are in their head, okay, let's change it 1,000 times and make it perfect. And before we have any results, any real data, before it's going to work at all, or maybe the first thing we did will work perfectly. But it's all about, like you said, that authenticity. And a lot of people have challenges. What will people think of me? Or will they not like me? Will they not buy from me? At first, when I first started coaching, I had challenges being really raw and real with people from some of these inauthentic, echoes from years ago where I was just this, vanilla, lukewarm, I joke, spineless jellyfish, chameleon to be like everyone else so I wouldn't be made fun of. Well, that didn't work because I was still teased and made fun of and bullied, even though I tried to be like everyone else and be completely inauthentic. And the lesson is to something to learn and to just deal with as a part of life and to celebrate and embrace. People will always whine and moan and bitch about us. People are always going to complain about us, whether you're doing what you love or doing what you hate. So you might as well do what you love. You might as well be who you are. If you're being who you hate, well, people are going to complain anyways. You might as well, be who you love, do what you love, and do your thing. Have a cool thing. If they don't like your sunglasses flip or your funny hat or your little dance at the end of your content shows, who cares? You're gonna have people that love that and resonate with that, and that's your uniqueness. I mean, here's a cool statistic. There's 7.5, almost 8 billion people on the planet. 1% of that, as I think if my math is right, 75 million people. Are you able to serve 75 million people in this lifetime? If so, maybe awesome, great. Again, so stop worrying about it. Even if only 1% of the world loves you and 99% hates you, that's still 75 million people you could potentially serve. And yeah, I learned the hard way by being vanilla and lukewarm and in a very inauthentic that people still doesn't resonate with me. People didn't buy from me. Women didn't date me. Guys didn't like me as friends. People didn't want me on their team because I was so inauthentic and not real. People didn't trust me. I was trying to hide all this stuff about me. What if they find out this, or what if they find out this, or what if I'm this, or what if I'm that? All this stuff that people didn't trust me. They could see I was hiding something. All these fears, worries, doubts. What if? Or like our parents would always say, what would people say? What would people think? All the parents and grandparents, and it's toxic because who cares what people say? Who cares what people think? Obviously, this is not permission to be an ass. Be a great, great person aimed to help people, help the world, and you have no worry. But be yourself and embrace the haters because it means you're speaking out. Embrace people that are whining and moaning and bitching about you. It means you're doing something. It means you have a message and you have a powerful message versus a lukewarm, I'm going to try to please everybody and make everybody happy kind of message, which will not polarize anyone. They won't hate you, but they're never going to work with you or like you or date you or buy from you or give you money. They may not hate you. They'll probably complain about you anyways, but they're definitely not going to choose you or resonate with you or buy from you.
Right.
And just to realize that life sucks when you're being inauthentic. It's an exhausting place to be because it's exhausting not to be the real version of us. the funniest or gayest or most emotional, most exciting, most ecstatic, most whatever funny hat wearing or weird. Embrace your weirdness, please. People love it. People will embrace it. People think, wow, there's someone confident enough to go out and be who they want to be. How the heck do I be like them? I think I want to work with them because I want to be like them and have to your point earlier, have the lifestyle, the personality, be who they're being. How the heck are they doing that? How the heck is James doing really scary stuff, being very, very open and vulnerable about himself and his past? Whether it's the depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, the worry about, was I gay or not when I was a teenager? Just all this stuff. And it's like worrying. And now I can speak about it like it's nothing. I've grown so much from it, embraced all of it. And I can speak about it like it's just I'm talking about the weather. And that's a very, very powerful place where, to my final point here, is just own it. Own your stuff. Own your SHT, right? Own your stuff.
Yeah.
Own it. If you have a crooked nose or a whatever, own it. If you have a funny voice, own it. If you are afraid of it and think it's bad or think it's good, bad, or otherwise, other people will as well. If you own it, whether it's your stutter or your perma bad hair or whatever it is, a mole or a pimple or something or whatever it is, if you own that, if you own it and don't care, and it's like, yeah, this is me, this is freaking me, and this is what you get, and I'm awesome, here's why, and I'm doing me. If you own your SHT, people will love you. It's no longer a thing. People only make it a thing if you make it a thing. So stop making it a thing.
Yes, that's so true. I see people all the time that own whatever, any of the examples you just listed. And I instantly love those people because they're embracing who they are. And you said this earlier, when you're authentic, people actually trust you more as well. So I know, like, and trust people immediately when I see that they're just owning exactly who they are. But it's hard to do that, I think, especially if we've lived a life of being insecure about something, or maybe our parents have told us something over and over about our bodies. I remember my dad telling me when I was a kid, I'm almost 49, and I still remember this. He was like, wow, Megan, your legs sure are sturdy like a table. And I was like, oh, I've never forgotten that. So I've had this thing about my legs. Within the past few years, I've matured, so I don't give a crap about I like my short stature now, whatever. But yeah, things like that can really stick with us.
It can, and hey, us shorter people, we have less back problems, which is really cool. There you go. But you're right. Stuff stays with us, and we need to work on that. And that's why part of what I do with my Limitless Entrepreneur, entrepreneurs couldn't be limitless unless they removed this stuff from the past, the self-limiting beliefs, I'll call them traumas, that was probably mildly traumatic or maybe majorly traumatic to you, right? And all these things from the past, traumas, things people have said, oh, you're not that smart, or you couldn't do that, or you're not that strong, or you're not that whatever, or people will never, whatever, insert word here, whatever. Again, usually it's parents, grandparents, friends, family, teachers, religious figures, culture, society, even our community. It's like, oh, well, you're not that much, or you're not this, or you're too much this, or you're too tall, or too this, or not enough to be able to do this or do that, right? So it's interesting, mind you, and it's a toxic thing, and we need to remove that. That's where a great coach with the right tools will help eliminate that and do some of the subconscious work, because that's deep in our subconscious, to rip that out. And I do that in everything I do because, well, when those beliefs, those traumas, those events are still there, those negative events, limiting events hold us back, my goodness, you're right. You keep hearing that, and often it affects us and shuts us down, shoots us down. Someone goes wants to speak. They want to speak for the business. Maybe their mom or their dad or someone, said, oh, your voice is really squeaky, or your voice is too squeaky. And so every time they go to speak or do something, they're like, oh, well, yeah, my voice is too squeaky or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so they don't go to speak, even though they're passionate about speaking and delivering their message. So we need to rip these deep-seated limiting beliefs and thoughts out, again, that came usually from the people closest to us and the authority figures. We need to rip these out and remove these. That, admittedly, is harder to do on our own. We can look at these and make a belief table and write down the limiting belief and then all the reasons that's not true. Then on a second column, write down the belief we want to have. I am good. I am a good speaker. I am smart. I can help, whatever. and then all the reasons, at least 30, why that's true. That does help creating a belief table. But some of these things, these deep-seated things in our mind subconsciously that prevent us from being authentic.
Yeah.
Or prevent us from taking action or taking risk or whatever, they need to be removed. And when we do that deep-seated subconscious work with the right coach, or the right mentor, wow, will it ever set you free? Just as something I've learned and been working on myself.
Yeah, I like your exercise of doing the columns, just writing down like, what is the belief, this false belief that's been ingrained into me, and then why is this not true, and like, what is the truth? I feel like that could be so powerful. And then do you take it a step further? Like, do you just like go do the thing anyway and repeat?
Great question. And I think that is the case. Just keep doing the thing anyways. Now it can be challenging with that limiting belief. Do it anyways, to your point, repeat, keep adding to why that's not true, keep adding to why it is true. Preferably see someone who is great at removing limiting beliefs, especially subconsciously, versus just talking about the problem. Let's find a way to remove these subconsciously, have you blow through them. And yes, to your point as well, not sometimes, the rubber's got to meet the road. The rubber's got to meet you just got to do the doing. Yes, there's three. Here's something I want to share. For big change, yes, do the inner work. Absolutely, rip these things out with a mentor, coach. Get rid of them. In the meantime, use a belief table. Number 2, focus on what you want. Have that huge focus, and focus on what it is you want versus the fear or the doubt or all the things that go wrong or all the things could fail, because then you're going to feel what you focus on, right? What you focus on is what you feel. So focus on all the things that could go right and all the things you could do and the potential and the amazing life you could have and help other people with. Focus on what you want. And the next one is take action. Nothing happens without action. The amazing dream job, the beautiful dream, spouse, they're not going to fall out of the air into your arms unless you take action, whatever that action is. You got to start taking action. And one of the biggest actions is including working on yourself, doing the inner work, growing, learning yourself, letting go of the barriers that stop us yourself, and just to keep going and keep growing, and again, becoming every day who you want to be, really. I'm not sure I completely answered your question though there.
It doesn't matter, because everything you're saying is like, yes. No, this is so good. I feel like food bloggers just really need this pep talk right now and need encouragement to keep going. Like, they are so capable and so resilient and talented and smart, and absolutely. It kills me when I see them quit. I mean, I get it. Sometimes you just need to move on to something else, but it's also like, oh, come on. Like, you were almost there. You were so close. So I think this is a really important discussion that we're having right now. Do you have any last little bits of, inspiration for us right now, James?
Sure do. And never, ever give up. You probably all heard the story. It's called 10 Feet from Gold. These miners were mining. I was either in the Yukon or in, where was it? Yukon or Alaska. And, they found a bit of gold, but they kept digging, and then they gave up because they weren't finding much gold. And then another local miner who knew the area, bought the land and the machines. He bought them all cheap because they abandoned the project, bought them all cheap from them because he knew the area. He knew eventually enough digging, you're going to find something. And 10 feet away from where they stopped, he discovered one of the richest veins of gold in Alaska or the Yukon, whichever it was. So what I'm trying to say is resilience and perseverance is also a huge determinant of success. Like I mentioned, taking action, working on the inner fears, focusing on what you want, being like never giving up, never, ever giving up, and being that resilient, perseverant person. Keep going until you get there. Never, ever give up. Look, so many people are 10 or 15-year overnight success, right? It's an overnight success. Yes. And I can see my business going way above $1 million very, very soon too. So again, we're all like a 10 or 12-year overnight success. Sometimes it takes more than 1 or 2 or 3 years. It's different for everyone, but my guidance is to hang on and never, ever give up. Yes, tweak and adjust. And if something is truly not working and you're banging your head against the wall, tweak, adjust, look at what's not working. Do we need to shift and pivot a bit? But avoid ever giving up. Netflix had started, I think, Netflix, that was their 6th business or so. Nike, Phil Knight of Nike, that was his 7th business he started, and until it actually started working well. They'll be doing things. So have the wisdom, and again, this is why a coach is great, to know where, okay, this is truly a project that's not working and never will, versus what we just got to tweak, adjust, make some tweaks, make some adjustments, and this is going to really, really rocket ahead, really, really go well. And I think we can do that both ourselves and also, I'm not shamelessly trying to plug coaches and mentors, but again, it's a great opportunity to do that with someone and even get you out of your head and out of the analytical and really into your heart. And the longest journey will be from your head to your heart. The longest journey you ever take is from your head to your heart. Get someone who'll get you in your heart. What do you really want? What is not working about this? Why? And what you need to do? And then having maybe your mentor or coach give you some tweaks and advice, how to go do this differently or how to focus differently. And that way you get different results. And just again, that never, ever, ever give up till you get your goal. Never give up till you get there. Yes, tweak, adjust versus bang your head against the wall. Well, this is not working. My head's getting sore. Maybe I need to push with my hands or push the open or pull the door. Maybe I need to pull the door open versus pushing it. Maybe it's one of those pull doors.
I've done that before. I'm like, oh gosh, I struggled for a long time with that.
Why is this not opening? Yeah. It's a pull door. Oh, okay.
Oh, this is so amazing.
That's what I'll leave.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was all really inspiring and we just appreciate you. So thank you for this, James, and for your time today. Well, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you if they want to learn more about your coaching or people who you train to coach or anything else you want to offer?
Right on. Absolutely. So one of the best places to check me out is limitless-entrepreneur.com. That's one of the biggest ways to see what I do and how I help entrepreneurs truly become limitless, make more money, travel more, enjoy life more, give back more, have more purpose and fun and freedom. That's a huge, huge part of it and a really big part of what I do. And amidst helping becoming more influential, so more people say yes to you, more confident, so more people say yes to you and buy from you and pay you more. And then how to just confidently communicate and powerfully communicate your message. It's all in often how you're doing it versus what you're doing that needs to shift. So maybe we can change a bit of the how. That way you get more of what you want. So limitless-entrepreneur.com. You can also find me, James R. Elliot, Unleash Your Power on YouTube as well. You'll find me there. Probably one of the two best ways to get a hold of me, or simply if you want, James at limitless-entrepreneur.com. Feel free to reach out to me if you're looking for a coach, mentor, just even looking to skyrocket your business, make more money, have more time, purpose, more confidence, less burnout and overwhelm. Would love to talk more. Love to have a quick call with you and give you some thoughts, some coaching, some direction. Happy to chat with any of your people and your followers as well, Megan. Give them a special 30 minutes with me. Maybe we can develop some strategies. I can shed some light on what's working and what's not working and how to shift and have a pivot and how to give them a plan to succeed.
Amazing. Great. And we'll put together a show notes page for you, James. So we'll put everything that you talked about there. So if you want to go to eatblogtalk.com/unleash your power, you can find that. So thank you again. This was incredible. And
my pleasure.
Yes. And thank you, food bloggers, for listening. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Eat Blog Talk. Please share this episode with a friend who would benefit from tuning in. I will see you next time.